So, hi everyone. Welcome to this month's mug. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Amy and I'm part of the customer success team. And today I'm joined by my colleague Keen. And together we'll be showcasing you new features that have come on Monday.com. I'm going to just run through some of the housekeeping quite quickly. So the demo is usually going to take about 30 minutes and we will try to keep it under that. It is an open discussion, so feel free to pop any questions that you have in the chat and we can go through them in our Q&A at the end. Or if you just want to pop up your hand throughout, just let us know and we can answer your question then as well. The recording of the call will be sent to everyone tomorrow, and that will be sent along with a survey, so you can tell us how we went. And it also gives you a chance to add any features that you would like to have discussed in our next mug. So let's start with the agenda. So it's fully packed this week, or this month, should I say. So first up, we've got work management, and it's how to build a personalized planning board, setting up automations and reminders. And then we have our goal setting techniques. So it's how to use dashboards, widgets, to track goals visually. And then finally, our new habits for productivity. So we're going to leverage some integrations so we can plan better and have some consistency with our tasks as well. So with that being said, I'm going to, oh, sorry, and then we're going to end it off with the Q&A as well. So with that being said, I'm going to hand over the stage to my colleague Keane.
Cool. Thanks very much, Amy. So before I share the screen, I'm going to show you guys how to build a personalized weekly planning board. So we're going to really use this to manage your daily tasks and automations with reminders. But I'm going to push it even further by using AI too. Now, most of you guys should have the AI features added to your account. If not, if you send an email to support@monday.com, they should be able to get them activated for you. So most clients I meet with, they do have the best of intentions when it comes to keeping on top of their tasks. But after a few days, it just kind of piles up and they start scribbling their tasks down in the notes app instead of keeping it inside of Monday. So obviously, with that approach, lots of things can go wrong. You're not getting your reminders on your tasks, they're not categorized, and it can be really hard to find the info that you're looking for. Now, I get why people resort to doing this. I'm guilty of it myself
Same.
because putting your tasks into Monday, exactly, putting your tasks into Monday sometimes can take a bit of time. So you have lots of columns to fill in and things, and it can be a bit painstaking, especially if you're in a rush.
Mhm.
So I'm going to look at using AI to kind of automatically fill in some of these columns for you. It's a real kind of new way of working. So I'm going to share the screen now. I'm going to show you what the standard approach looks like. And then I'm just going to switch to this other method that I kind of came up with. And I'd really recommend if you guys can follow along with me, if you can, and we can look at building the task board together. So it's the first thing we'll cover, and then we'll cover like keeping track of your goals and stuff inside Monday. So let me just share the screen.
You're really aiming to work smarter, not harder with this as well, aren't you?
100%, 100%. Also, I can be a bit lazy and I like AI to do everything for me. So,
We'd rather say that you're the AI guru. I'd rather
exactly.
say that.
This is kind of like your standard approach when you're managing your tasks, right? You kind of have your board, you're putting in stuff like, call Sam, and then you're going to like fill in these separate columns. You maybe going to set your priority, fill in your date, fill in the time, and then maybe fill in maybe a text box with what you're going to call Sam about. So, it's great, it really works, but I found myself that I tend to not keep on top of things with this. Also, a lot of people are not setting themselves up with reminders for due dates and things.
Hmm.
So I'm going to show you guys a much better way of keeping track of your tasks. So I would really recommend making your own workspace. Now, I know a lot of people are kind of following the flows in their own organizations to keep track of their tasks, and there's some boards that you have to use. But I think it's a great idea to make your own workspace. You can call it like your name and make a board inside it where you track your own tasks. So you can see this is my workspace. I just made it for this mug. But we'll move to my board that I made called Task But Way Better. Okay. So this is kind of spoiling the surprise first. Let me just delete some of these and make some new tasks, right? So let's say I have an email I need to send someone like next week. I'm going to show you how well this works with AI and automation. So let me say email Sam with the outstanding PO next week. We'll just say next week. Let's get the spelling right. So I like just scribbling the things I need to do down. So as you can see, it's automatically assigned me, it's set the priority, it's set the due date, and I've took it even further and got it to write the email for me. So you can just like copy that column, send it in an email, or you could take it one step further and you could add a button column and get that to send the email for you with an automation. So if you're keeping maybe some of your customer details or your colleagues' details inside of here and maybe a drop down and an email column, you can set it up so you click a button and it will send them that email, which is like, this has already saved you at least 5 minutes on just one task. Imagine the amount of tasks you have during your workday and how much time you're going to save. So I'm going to walk you guys through building this from scratch. So if you guys can follow along with me, I think it'd be a great idea. So yeah, let's do that. I'm going to show you
All right.
then how you can kind of make different views and really keep track of things really well. So we'll add a new board. Cool. And we're going to make it nice and simple. We'll just call the group tasks. And then we'll have the other one just called like done. So it'd be nice when you click done, all your tasks move to done and they're not kind of cluttering up on you. So there's a couple of automations we want to set up first, just to get the basics out of the way. So let's go to automate. And the first one is pretty simple. It's like when the status changes to done, move the item to the done group. So when status changes to done, then move the item to group and you select your group here, done. Super simple. The next thing you want is oftentimes you want to get notifications to remind you to do that task. So it's like if it's due maybe in a week's time, you want a reminder maybe the day before. So let's add that automation as well. So when the date arrives, then notify me. Okay, so when the date arrives, you can set this now where it can be one day before the date arrives. You can customize the time. It can be a week.
Very
It can be
cool.
after. You choose what you want yourself. Select date here and then notify. So you can automatically populate the item name as well. So we can just say, hey, item name is due tomorrow. Done. Cool, nice and simple. You can add as many of these as you want. If you want like 3 different reminders, you can just kind of copy that maybe 3 times with different times. And then what other automation do we need? We'll make it nice and simple. When you create an item, it's automatically going to assign you. So it's nice and easy. So when an item is created, assign person, choose me. Keep an eye on the time. Need to make sure I don't overrun.
Mhm.
Perfect. Lovely. So this is all well and good, but I mean, some of this stuff is not going to fill in automatically, right? So we can be like, we can put this in, cool. It's going to assign me automatically now, but you know, the data or anything doesn't populate. So we want to set this up using some AI. So if you go to your date column, you're now going to see autofill with AI, and I'm going to put in a custom action. And I'm going to say set the date based on the information in my tasks. So let's say set date based on info given in, and then it will be item name. That's it. That's your task name. Okay. So obviously I don't have any kind of date yet, but let me just change that. Email key in tomorrow. And now if it all works well, you should see that it updates, which is great. And you're also going to get the reminder right before it because we've already set up the automation. So that's great. Next thing we're probably going to want to do is set a priority column to keep track of your priorities, of course. And we're going to use this with AI too. So you'll just click on the ellipses, click autofill with AI, and choose the AI action we wanted to categorize. And we wanted to categorize the item name. If you have other text columns, you can get it to categorize based on other text columns too, if you like. And there we go, save and apply. Now, if there's not enough information in the text, it's not really going to get the priority. Like this doesn't know that this is high or low priority. But if I say maybe like it's urgent, we'll see that the priority has automatically changed to high. You know,
Very
so it's
clever.
really, really clever. Yeah, really useful. So you can imagine how kind of far you can take this. Again, if you wanted to set like have it create an email automatically, we can do this
Hmm.
also. So I'm going to show you how you're going to do that. You're going to use a custom block. So if you add a column and type in AI, you should see something called, yeah, custom AI prompts. So this is great. It's just like ChatGPT basically built in. You give it a prompt and it will do it for you. So what we say, we'll say create an email based on the info in your item name. Now, this can automatically start making emails for things that are not really email related. So, say in your task you have like you need to call the team. You don't want it to make an email if your task doesn't really have anything like the word email in it. So, we'll actually specify that. So, create an email based on the info and item name, but only if email is in the item name. And also, I found with some tasks, you have like, call Sam tomorrow at 2 p.m., but you don't want those times and dates in your email because it'll cause all sorts of confusion. I'm going to
Hmm.
say exclude times and dates from the email.
So I think the trick with the AI as well, it's kind of like with the automations that you have to really ask exactly what you want to receive.
Yeah,
So yeah, you have to be very specific, right?
100%. So sometimes
Mm.
it can get messy and you have to get the wording right, but definitely play
Mm.
around with it, guys. And it's really good. So again, this is, you can see that it's super, super useful.
Very
But I'm going to
cool.
show you some of the stuff I prepared kind of previously. So as you can see, I just kind of put these in, build a dashboard for Sam on Friday by 2 p.m. It's put in the date and everything here. And it's also, has your emails too, which is super, super useful. And one thing with this, right, you may be looking at this and thinking, it's hard to know at a glance what's due tomorrow, what's due next week. You have your dates here, which is cool, but it'd be nice to categorize them. So to categorize these really nicely, you're going to want to create a new view and
Cool.
click table view. So table view just duplicates exactly what the main table looks like. And then we're going to use the new group by feature to categorize these by date. So if we group items by due date and save to this view, now you can see exactly just what's due tomorrow, what's due the rest of the week, what's next week. And you can just use that in conjunction with your normal tasks. So it's super easy at a glance to see what's due. I'd also recommend maybe just making a calendar view. Again, super easy. Click plus, click calendar, and you'll see all your items on a calendar if you prefer to work that way. Again, you can add new items directly from the calendar. And again, I know I'm kind of running out of time here, but you can create a dashboard view. So you can set up maybe some widgets where you can see your task by priority and customize it where you can see task this week, task this month. So it's super simple to add something like this. Click add widget, chart, and then you're just going to give the chart some settings and customize it based on what you want on the x-axis and what you want on the y-axis. And then you can give it your separate
Very cool.
titles. And again, yeah, if you want to filter by this week or this month, use the filter on the chart and specify that you want it where the date is only like, this week or last week, this month, next month, and then save that to the view, and then you can rename it. So that I think is definitely the best way I found to track my tasks. I
Brilliant.
barely have to do anything, and it's all there. I'm getting the reminders. You've one place to see everything that's due. You're not like going through your notes and different folders to find what you had to do that week or that month. So have a play around with that. Again, you guys might need to add a lot more columns. Adding a files column is really useful. So anytime you're
Hmm.
having a conversation with someone and there's files related, just drop them into the task so everything's kind of combined and it's there ready to go. So the next thing I want to show you guys, I'm going to make this one really quick, is just your goal tracker. So I think it's a great idea to keep track of your goals inside of Monday too, because
Hmm.
again, you can set your automations, you can set your reminders, your deadlines, and a lot of goals kind of contain some subtasks, and we can roll some of the subtasks up to the item level and see our progress. So as you can see here, sell 3 packages. I want to maybe keep track of when I've done them, the date I've sold the package, and we want this to all go into a dashboard so I can see how my progress is. So again, read 5 books this year. The names of your books, you can keep track of when they're done. So how you're going to roll that information up onto the item level is when you create your sub items, you go onto the status of your sub item, you click the ellipsis here and click show summary on parent item. This way, everything rolls up here and it's nice to see at a glance what your progress is
Hmm.
like. I've also maybe just set some Q1, Q2, Q3 in a status column, and I use AI to just set the deadline because sometimes I'm like, oh, what's the end of Q1 again? Is it March 31st? What is it? This is doing it for me. So if I go into autofill with AI, we can see my prompt. I said set the date based on which quarter I choose in, and then I use the status column and make sure it's the end of the quarter. So that's reading that, and it's automatically giving me the deadline. If I switch this to Q1, you're going to see that this is automatically going to change to the end of March. There you go.
There we
Really
go.
cool. And then you can create a dashboard, add your
Cool.
widgets and your goals. So you can see, you can make it look really nice. You can see all your goals here, how many is done, how many is not started, how many is being worked on, goals by quarter, that sort of stuff. So yeah, I mean, I know I flew through this. If you want more information or want to go one-on-one and get some, kind of one-on-one training on it, let me know, send me an email and we can jump on a call. But
I'm
yeah,
laughing, Keen, at your third goal is to fire that guy that you hate.
yeah, I mean,
Gotta get that
sometimes you
done.
just gotta
That's for
get them out of
me.
there. So there's the steps. Look, complain, warning one, warning two, he's fired. So happy days.
Oh, brilliant. No, but it is again bringing it back to having that single source of truth as well, because some people work with different tools and platforms in order to set their goals. But I think it's brilliant that you're able to just go back to using Monday as that single source of truth as well. So
Exactly.
really good tips there. Much better
Cool.
than the ones
Thanks.
I'm probably going to show. But I'm going to take the mic back, take the stage back off you. So if you give me just 1 second. Okay, perfect. Can you see my
Lovely.
screen okay?
Can do. Can do.
Brilliant. Okay, so what I want to show you is the first thing I want to show you is to be able to leverage your integrations for better planning. So, us as an organization, we use Outlook. So, be Outlook Calendar and Outlook Email. So, what I'm going to show you today is how to integrate my Outlook Calendar. And there's plenty of other tools that you can integrate with. We do have an open integration with a lot of tools, but they are restricted to certain automations that are created within the integration. So here's just a basic board that I have set up. And if you click on integrate here, just one moment, just 1 second. Is my screen stop sharing or still
Yeah,
sharing?
yeah. It's just getting used to the new platform, guys. It's our first
Yeah.
platform change. So we're some teething issues, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
2 seconds. Sorry about this. Okay, you can see my
Cool.
board there.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant. Perfect. Okay, so we've got, sorry, back to this is just a basic board that I have set up. And what I'm going to do is click into my integrations. So clicking over here into integrations, and you can see these are, I'll just exit out of this. These are some of the main more popular integrations that we have open already. And you can see here our Google Outlook, sorry, our Outlook calendar is already here. So if I just even type in Outlook, once you can see here it'll populate. So I'm going to click in here. And then it shows you that there's three automations that are created against this integration. So you have, and you can see here from the icon, so you've got Outlook going into Monday, and then from here it's Monday going into Outlook and Monday going into Outlook. So I'm going to use this one here where it's Monday going into Outlook. So when an item is created or updated, create an item in the Outlook calendar and sync future changes from this board. So basically, this means again, bring it back to that single source of truth that you can just simply use your Monday board and without having to click back in and out of your calendar, or vice versa, because you can do the same when you've created an event, created an Outlook calendar. this will also create an item in Monday too. So if I click on this template, it is going to ask me to choose an account connection, and I'm going to use my Amy McLaughlin one. So this basically is when an item is created or updated, create an event in Outlook Calendar and sync future changes. So if I click in here, this here is where I'm going to be able to customize what I want in the details that it's going to be sent back into Outlook. So we're going to have the start time, and this will be in sync with what I have on my board already.
Cool.
And then the end time is going to be the date also. Then the subject, I'm going to mark that as the item ID. So whatever I have that in as a section as the item ID will come up as a subject within the calendar meeting. And then the
Cool.
body of the meeting as well, so that there usually you can mark this of whatever is you have on your board. So if you have like more information like descriptions, like a text column within your board, you can then add that in here instead of one of these. But for today's viewing, I'm just going to click on status. But from here, you'll be able to add in different columns, like if you have a text column or something like that, and you can add them in here and then change them around as well. So once we click on done and then create automation. So you can see here that this here is now selected on the board. And again, if you want to edit this at any stage, you can just click on edit here um, from the three little dots. So if I go back into my board now, you can see that the column has been created from my Outlook calendar, which wasn't there previously. And if I want to type in here, so CSM meetup, and I'm going to tag Keen in this, and I can hear already in my ears that the
Mm,
meeting has come through. And
nice.
then as well, I want to set the date and the time. So I'm going to set it for Sunday, and then I'm also going to put it in for a specific time. By clicking on this time up here, you can set in the time. So I'm going to set that for 11:30, not too early for us. Um, and then as well, I'm going to click this. So you can obviously edit your labels, but your status is what I've chosen that's going to go back in there. So I'm going to put that as um, working on it. And you can see down here that the little automation is working its way back in the background and it says automation was completed. Now, if I switch screens, Keen, can you tell me, are you able to see my screen if
Yeah,
I
sure.
change? Or,
I'm not seeing anything yet. It's just still seeing Monday. Um,
oh, okay.
maybe if you stop sharing and
Yeah,
just
I think
share.
that's what I'll have to do. Sorry. We're
Yeah,
using a
yeah.
new system again. So just 1 second and then click in. Okay, perfect. Now I have just noticed, which didn't happen when I was doing the test on it earlier, but I can see that it has created, so this is Sunday 23rd and this is a half 11. So if I click in here, it does show that I'm working on it, but for some reason, of course, when I'm doing the live demonstration, it's come up as numbers rather than what the CSM meeting, what the team meeting, and you can actually see in the day before. So these are the ones that I'd done tests on. So these did come through correctly. So it's me, Keen, CSM catch up. I was kind of messing around with them. And again, so we can see that it did actually create the meeting. And I'll just go back to my other screen.
That's cool because I like the way it's like a two-way sync too. So like if you change then the time or the date in uh, Monday, it's just automatically going to change it then in
Yes,
Outlook,
in
right?
your Outlook.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can actually click into the meeting here as well. Now, of course, I'll look into why that didn't come up as a CSM meetup. And in my previous test I had, but it is great that you can just have that two-way sync, like you say, Keenan. Again, just
Mm,
have that single source of truth where you have everything working within. You can just have the one page open with Monday, save working, clicking back and forth, um, through different tabs, and avoid juggling like the disconnected apps, and just make sure nothing kind of falls through the cracks.
nice.
Um, so on that, I'm just going to move on to the next feature that I want to show. So that didn't run as smoothly as I wanted it to, but you can see kind of where we're going with that, and that you can have that two-way sync, which is really cool. And the next thing I want to show you is to set up your reoccurring tasks. So I know, Keen, you set it up, you had a different kind of way of doing it to what I have. Mine's kind of like a more simpler one, but still quite effective. So if this is kind of trying to help you not to forget anything that's really important things that you need to do, whether it be daily, monthly, or weekly. And it's in fact super simple to do. So this is on my to-do list. As you can see, I have everything done. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to click into the automations. And so what we want to do from here is go to automations, go to our board automations, and then add automations. So this here is what we're looking for. And what we want from this is every time period. So you can see it's already clicked up there. So every time period, it will then create either an item, a group, or a duplicate group. So in this case, the more popular one would be to set up the trigger. We've already set up the trigger, and then we're going to create the action, which is the
Mm.
item. But if we go back up here, and what we're going to do is set up the actual time. So you can see you've got three options: your daily, weekly, and monthly. So if we stick with the daily, we can click on every 1 day or 2 days at a specific time, um, which is quite good. Or else you can do every daily, like if you've got a daily task that you need to fill out as well. Um, one that I find really good is your weekly one. So you can select multiple days within the weekly one as well, um, which is really cool, and set it to like obviously different times, and you can set it to as many weeks as you want as well. And then the same with your monthly. So you can set that every second month, so if you want to do it every quarter, at the end of every quarter, you can set up a reminder to do something as well, which I know I do quite a lot of. So now we have created the trigger, we want to set the action. So again, it's like that. We want to then create our action. So in here, you can change this to, so the groups I have selected or that I have created on my board is to do, doing, and done. So if we just select on like like sorry, then we want to define this item. So we click on to do, and then the new item name would be like end of quarter. And the person then will be myself because I'm assigning that task to myself. Now you can of course assign tasks to other people as well. So if you've got other people on the team that you need to delegate to, then this is a great way for you to do it. And then of course then you've got your to do, doing, or done as well. So this is mainly going to be to do. The date actually there's a limitation on that at the moment through Monday, but it is something that they're working on. Um, but that's not working at the moment as it should. So I wouldn't suggest that you put in a date, so that it wouldn't be exactly defined. Um, so there, if we have that, we have our trigger, and then we have our action, and then we create our automation. Dun, dun, dun.
That's
Just wait
cool.
for
I
it to
haven't
load.
really used that because again, you can use that to sync with the calendar if you've like stuff to be doing. You
Exactly.
can have your current thing, it goes into the calendar, and yeah, you can basically kind of do everything from Monday, really. So that's
Yeah,
really
and like I mean that's what the joys of Monday is, that get it to work smarter, not harder. And again,
yeah,
then if you need to change this at all, you can just click in here the three magic buttons and click on edit. Um, and so yeah, that's kind of like the simpler way to, not the simpler way because your way is simple, but without the hard work beforehand, to um to be able to set up your tasks for yourself. And then you'll get a
cool,
reminder, like a notification. And again, yeah, you'll have that integration then with your Outlook emails if you wanted to as well. So you can have your notification through your integration to set that up to, sorry, to notify you when those tasks come up as well if you're not on Monday. So yeah, that
cool.
there is how to do that. And I'm just going to stop sharing. I know we're kind of gone over today, which I didn't think we would, but we have. Um, so guys, I'm just wondering, was there any questions that you guys had for us? I can't see any in the chat, but we are using the a new um a new forum. So hi Andrew, how are you? That's excellent. Thanks very
No
much.
good. No question from
All
you.
good. No,
Anybody
all
else? Feel
good.
free to just shout as well. Come off mute. I
Cool.
think we're all good, Amy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. So what I did want to say though, is thank you for everybody for attending. Next month we won't have our mugs. We're doing our mugs now. What we decided to do is do it bi-monthly, but every month then, every other month, we're going to be doing an Ask Me Anything. So that's going to be held on the 25th of March. It'll be myself and Cian and possibly one of our um Monday gurus. So what we're going to do on that is basically you can ask us anything. It's an open forum. You can also send us in questions, and it's just like a way that we can just discuss different features and things that you have come across that maybe like you want to discuss that we haven't discussed before. And it's just more instead of us talking to you, it would be more having a discussion about things that you want to discuss. So that's on the 25th of March, and you will be sent an invite for that as well. And then, as I said at the start, you should be receiving a copy of this tomorrow. And yeah, I think that's it. Thanks so much for everybody attending, and I hope
And
that
thanks, guys.
it was useful.
Thanks so
Thanks,
much,
Keen, for your
everyone.
help. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Thanks all.